This is Wesley Robinson with PennLive, the Patriot News. I'm here with Michael Crochunis from PennDOT, and he's going to give us some tips. Will give us some information about what it's going to be like on the morning commute tomorrow, Tuesday, and then some ideas and tips to stay safe. So here's Michael. How you doing, Michael?
Great. How you doing, Wes?
All right. We are at PennDOT headquarters. As you can see behind us, there's some salt trucks gassing up. They're getting ready to go out to some of the local locations. So how many salt trucks are in this area?
We have 310 salt trucks for South Central Pennsylvania, and then we have what's that? 300.
A little louder.
I'm sorry. We have 310 salt trucks for South Central Pennsylvania that are PennDOT owned, and then we supplement some of those scheduled routes with rentals, so about 40 rentals or so.
Okay, and then all of those trucks will be out tomorrow whenever we do get snow, and they'll be laying down salt to make sure the roads are safe?
Yeah, pre-dawn hours we expect some precipitation to start, although in the east we might get a little bit of rain this evening, and so we'll need to keep tabs on that to make sure things don't ice out.
And how much snow are we expecting?
About a trace to 3 inches. I guess in some areas, a few hot spots might get about 3.
Okay, and if any of the viewers have any questions, feel free to shoot while we're going live. We want to make sure that we get an opportunity to answer anyone's questions out here. So, 1 to 3 inches, what do you guys recommend people do in terms of driving and keeping safe and distance and all of those types of things?
Well, really just to slow down and don't put yourself in a situation where you have to brake hard. So give yourself plenty of space between the vehicle in front of you, and please don't pass a snow plow, whether they're plowing or throwing salt, because you really don't want to get any of that debris on your windshield. It is kind of hard to get off.
Okay. And then, in terms of treatment and all of the things that do go into putting out salt and stuff on the road, how many man hours does it take to get all of that done?
Well, in some areas we're out there pre-treating already. I know in Adams County they were hitting some select routes because the onset of the storm could be hitting us as snow, and so when that falls, we don't want that to freeze up, and so when we have some salt brine or salt water solution, if you will, on the roads, when that hits the ground, it just dries up, and so at least for the first few hours, that really helps buy us some time. And if we have operators that are scheduled to be on at midnight or to come in at 2 a.m., if things change, then we have a little bit of time to call out our equipment operators.
Now there's a couple trucks behind us now. They're kind of moving, getting prepared. What's exactly going on at this site right now?
Right now, we have our B shift came on at noon, and so we're in the process of patrolling and trying to gather some data, see where we may need to treat some roads. If things are looking pretty clean, we might want to spread some salt brine solution out there so that we have, in effect, a little bit of residue out there on the roadway for the onset of the storm. Okay. We may not have all of our operator or all of our B shift hold on until midnight. That remains to be seen. We're just going to give it a few hours here and allow them to get a full day's work in, and then make that determination whether we'd rather hold them to midnight or do we want them to come in at noon tomorrow or maybe even earlier tomorrow.
And then with the with the snow supposed to come in the morning, I think.
Right.
How do you see that impacting or affecting traffic on the way into work?
Right. Well, our A shift operators will be coming in either at midnight or at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., sometime at the onset of the storm, so we'll be able to treat the roads and get things rolling for the early morning commute. The early morning commute could be delayed. I mean, there may be several school closings or delays or whatever tomorrow. We'll have to deal with that as it comes, but we'll be out there patrolling the roads, treating the roads, and making sure that things don't ice up in the morning.
Okay. And in terms of icing up and snow and all the winter weather, how has this year been in compared to past years?
We've had major fluctuations in temperature, and the 2 weeks between Christmas and a little bit after New Year's, that was very cold for us. But we fortunately didn't have a lot of precipitation, so we had some cold weather, but not a lot of snow. And then we received some rain, and so now things are coming together where it's it's fluctuating quite a bit for this winter, and it seems to be the pattern that we're in right now. So we have we had a few warm days over the weekend. Now it's starting to get cold again, but now that's going to mix in with a little bit of precipitation. So we need to be mindful of when we're driving out there, because anything that would have happened over the weekend just would have been rain. But if we're getting the same type of precipitation now, that could freeze to the roadway, and so that's something for drivers to be mindful of as well. It's just because as things change, not to get complacent, and we want to drive safely and get to your destination safely.
Okay. Any additional tips or any things you want to tell people to be prepared for tomorrow, or that you want to let drivers, people riding school buses or buses around town, that you think they need to know?
Right. Untreated roadways, parking lots, sidewalks will be slick tomorrow, because we do anticipate getting some sort of precipitation in the pre-dawn hours. So right now it's not very cold, but as we get into the wee hours of the morning, it's supposed to be quite different when it comes to temperature. And with precipitation coming in, whether it comes in as rain initially or snow, any of those wet roadways could be frozen, whether you're talking local roads or you're talking the interstates. Our job is to take care of the major thoroughfares and major traffic routes, but that may not be the case for the parking lot in your apartment complex, or if you walk outside your door, and if you didn't have any kind of salt on your driveway, it might be pretty slick out there. So just be careful when you're walking around and getting to your destination.
Now, in terms of salt trucks, how much salt do each of these trucks haul?
It really depends. I mean, you got the tri-axles hold maybe 8 tons of salt, and then a little bit smaller as you go for the trucks that are on the smaller routes.
What about like that truck back?
It will be
behind us.
We have the tandem there. 4 to 6 tons.
4 to 6 tons of salt. Oh wow! And then about how much stretch of highway or road does that cover?
Each of our trucks have about 40 miles in their plow route, depending on the length that they have to drive. Could be, if they're driving on an interstate, they may have a little bit further to go. But if they're on local roads where they're traveling not as fast, that may be a shorter route. But roughly 40 to 46 miles.
Okay.
40 to 46 minutes.
And then anything else that you think people need to be aware of, or that they need to know in terms of driving and keeping safe and all those other things? I mean, we've covered a lot, but I just want to make sure we get everything out.
Well, we're out there. We stagger our shifts, so we have an A shift and a B shift. Typically, the A shift is the start of the day. They would start at midnight, anywhere between midnight and 4 a.m. depending on the onset of the storm. It may be coming in from the west, where we'd be looking at the most accumulation from that particular front. It looks like we have 2 fronts that we'd be working on. One would really just be affecting the east, where we're talking Lancaster, Lebanon area. We might get a little bit of rain out of that, but if we get it early enough, like before 10 o'clock, our temperature should be pretty fine, and we'll be okay with that. But we will be out with a couple of trucks in each area monitoring that. And as the other one rolls in from the west, so the first counties in our district that would be seeing that storm would be Franklin County, Adams County, Perry County, and so we would sort of get a heads up from those, as well as our neighboring districts, to get our crews out there to treat the roads.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate your time.